morgon, god eftermiddag och god kväll, and welcome to INCRadio Northern Europe Satellite Studio. I'm Francesca Heiskanen, coming to you from Lund, Sweden, and I am one of your hosts for tonight. Selena, why don't you say hi to our viewers and listeners?
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Magandang umaga, magandang tanghali, at magandang gabi to all our listeners and viewers for tonight. I am Selena Bolander, broadcasting from Hilterberg, Sweden, and I will be one of your hosts for tonight as well.
Yes, and here in Sweden, it is Sunday, July 13, 9:02 p.m. And in the Philippines, if we're not mistaken, it's already Monday, July 14, 3:02 a.m. So for those of you tuning in from the Philippines, good morning to you, and to everyone here in Europe, good evening, and to wherever else you may be, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And once again, thank you for tuning in to INCRadio Northern Europe Satellite Studio. Selena, what topic do we have for tonight?
Yeah, so I know all of you are excited for tonight's topic. And if you were with us during our last broadcast, we talked about what it's like being the eldest. Tonight is a continuation of that conversation. But this time we're diving into being the youngest. So without further ado, let me introduce tonight's guest. Okay, so let's start from Austria. Hello, good evening, Angela.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Selena. Hello, Francesca. I'm Angela Domingo from the local congregation of Vienna West, and I hold my duties in the choir, in the district multimedia, and in the music department. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and next, also in Austria, we'll have Jenny introduce herself.
Hi everyone, guten Abend from Vienna. I am Sister Jenny Hernandez from the local of Vienna Center, and I have my duties in the choir as an organist and in the CWS. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And next, we'll go to Finland, and we'll say hi to Janice. Janice, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I am Janice Ravello. I am from the local congregation of Helsinki, Finland. I hold an office in a choir as a choir member and a district multimedia officer. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Selena, who else do we have?
Yeah, so this time let's go to Sweden, and I'm particularly excited about her for tonight. So without further ado, let me introduce Katja from Lund, Sweden. Hi, Katja.
Hi, Selena. Hello, everyone. My name is Katja Heiskanen from the Congregation of Lund, Sweden, and I hold my duties as a choir secretary and also in the district multimedia and district CFO. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Katja. And also from Lund, Sweden, we last but definitely not the least. Hello, David.
Hello, I'm David Valle. I'm from the local congregation of Lund, Sweden, and I'm a Bini.
Yes, and those are our guests for tonight. So we're really excited to hear from them. So as Selena mentioned, Selena and I, we are not the youngest, we are the eldest. So what do we know about being the youngest? Hence, we will get to know our guests a bit better and their experiences and input on being the youngest sibling in the family. But we also want to involve our viewers and listeners, and also for you to share what it was like growing up as the youngest and what your sibling dynamics were like growing up. So please share that in the live chat, and we will do our very best to read those comments later on. So let's dive in and start discussing with our guests. So let's start with Angela. Angela, obviously you are the youngest, but how many siblings are you in your family?
We are three sisters. I have my Ate Abi. Ate means oldest, older sister, and Ate Kati is the middle child, and obviously I'm the youngest.
What are your age gaps like?
We have a very big age gap actually. I'm almost 10 years younger than Ate Abby and 8 years younger than Ate Kati.
Very interesting. Thank you so much. So let's go to David. David, how many siblings are you in your family?
There's just two siblings in my family, who are me and my kuya Alex.
How many years older is your kuya Alex?
I think he is 19 years old right now.
And you are how many years old?
And I'm 12.
No, you're 13, David.
Oh, 13. I'm sorry.
So 6 years age gap between Alex and David. So let's go to Janice. Janice, how many siblings are you in your family?
I have 4 siblings, and I am the youngest among of them.
And what are your age gaps like, being 5 altogether?
I have a brother Jerry, which is the eldest, and I have brother Paul and Jennifer, and Charlie, and I think we have 5 years age gap with my kuya Charlie, and I don't know how much is the
So-
big age gap with my sister Jen.
But considering that you're so many siblings, that's a big jump from eldest to youngest, I believe. Let's ask Jenny. Jenny, how many siblings are you in your family?
We are actually 3 siblings. I refer to my ate and kuya just by ate and kuya, so I don't mention them by their name. But my kuya John Brand is the eldest. He is 4 years older than me. And my ate Brenda is the middle child. She is 2 years apart from me. So we all have like 2 years of age gap between each other.
Yes, and since I've asked all the other guests, I'll also ask Katja. Katja, how many siblings are you in your family, and what are your age gaps like?
In my family, we're 3 siblings. So I have an older brother who's the middle child, and I have an older sister who is the oldest child. With my older sister, we have a big age gap. We're 7 years apart, and then with my kuya, we are 4 years apart.
Yes, so there's a lot of different age gaps, a lot of big age gaps, a lot of smaller age gaps between all of our guests and their siblings. So that's really interesting to see. So I want to ask Angela, like, what was it like growing up as the youngest in your family, and kind of from your perspective, what was the sibling dynamic like?
It was fun, honestly, but also quite intense. I grew up very loved, very spoiled, and also very supervised. And as for the dynamic, I'd say we were your typical trio. I was more the shy and reserved one, while my ates were more outgoing. And as mentioned, we have a pretty big age gap, 8 and 10 years. So growing up, especially during my teenage years, that wasn't always easy. But now that we're all adults, we've grown much closer, and I really treasure the bond that we have.
Yes, I understand what you mean with that. As you've grown older, you've grown closer, because as an older sister, you have this responsibility for your younger siblings to take care of them. But then as they've grown older and they can take care of themselves, they just become kind of your friends now. So that's nice. So I want to ask you also as well, Angela, is what core memory do you have with your older siblings?
I can't think of just one specific moment, but I feel like whenever we travel together, that's when we really get to bond. especially when it's for district activities or when we perform our duties in other local congregations. It's always meaningful and we end up making the best memories.
Yes, I can relate to that. Especially now that, you know, like for me, like my siblings, we can travel without our parents. So that's also like added experience, added bond, but especially being able to travel, as you mentioned, for various church activities, to be together to perform your duties. Those create really the best memories. So thank you so much, Angela, for sharing. Selena, who do you want to go to next?
Yes, I want to ask David this time. So for you, David, what is like growing up as the youngest in your family, and what was your sibling dynamic like with your Kuya Alex?
I am 6 years younger than my kuya, but I can say that we have a close relationship, though we have our own friends. I don't remember having a huge disagreement with kuya. At the time, most of it would probably be who's going to sit at the front passenger seat in the car or who is going to throw out the garbage. Whatever argument we may have, I am mostly always the one who has to give in.
I see. So you mentioned you're the one who always has to give, and so your kuya always got his way. Did I understand it correctly?
Yes.
Wow, it's kind of different in my case because in my case, as the eldest, I'm the one who have to give in for my youngest brother. Especially we have a 10-year age gap, so it's always like you're the eldest, you should be the one to understand and give way. So, yes. So, what core memory do you have with your kuya Alex?
One of my core memories is when he taught me how to play video games on console. I think that memory is special to me because I look back to when we were younger, and we used to play a lot of games together.
I see. So, if I may ask, were you closer to him when you were younger, or you're closer to him right now, or is it the same? Nothing changed.
Uh, I think that it's mostly the same, but I think we've grown a bit closer than when we were before.
I see. Thank you so much, David. So we'll get back to you later. So this time I'd like to ask Janice. For you, Janice, same, what was it like growing up? Especially you have several siblings, unlike David here, only have one older sibling. So is it like growing up as the youngest in your family, and what's your sibling dynamic like?
Growing up as the youngest was a mix of fun and learning. I often look up to my older siblings like they were my role models to me. They were protective at times, but they also teased me like big siblings too. But overall, they helped me to grow by sharing experiences, and I learned a lot from them by observing them.
Yes, so that's actually one thing that elder siblings should do because, like what you mentioned, the younger ones learn by observing them, not just with what we teach you, but with how you observe us. So, what was your core memory with your siblings growing up?
One special memory with my older siblings was during church activity together. We joined performances and games like Munting Tinig back in the days, Christian Youth Month, This is Kadiwa. Preparing and practicing together made us happy. We laughed, helped each other, and felt happy to use our talents to serve God. It brought us closer as a family and taught me the joy of serving with loved ones.
Thank you so much, Janice. And actually, that's one of the best things that you youngest children could learn from your older siblings. So, who do you want to ask next, Cheska?
Yes, I want to go to Jenny. Jenny, for you, what was it like growing up as the youngest, and what do do you think your sibling dynamic was like?
For me, I can somehow say the same as Angela did. So, as the youngest, I felt very loved, and my siblings always would look after me. They would keep me away from potential then dangerous things, and they'd also entertain me in the way I wanted. But of course, it would be something we all enjoyed to do together and just have some good quality time.
That's so funny. You say that they would do their best to entertain you. As an older sibling, I think Selena and I can relate to that. That kind of having to keep the peace amongst the siblings. We have to try to keep them entertained and keep them occupied. So that's really funny of you to say. I'd also then want to ask you is what core memory do you have with your siblings?
It would be something from back in the day where we would still be like younger and would play video games together. Because it was something that we enjoyed doing together, where we would have fun. We would do it like every time we could. So when we were at home, on the way, also before or after the worship service. So it's something really that bonded us together.
That's so nice. It's also similar to what David mentioned, playing video games. It seems like such a simple or maybe mundane action, but it is something that is instilled in you, maybe even in your siblings, because it means something to you. So that's really nice to hear. Uh, Now I want to move on and kind of uh, I want to ask David, how do you think being the youngest has shaped your personality or even your life choices? Or you're still young, but maybe your personality, how has that shaped you?
Since I don't have so many activities like Kuya, I'm the one who gets to help with household chores, such as cleaning or washing the dishes. I think my Kuya sees me as a carefree person, though, or maybe I'm just slow because I tend to forget my time when I'm busy with something.
That's so cute, David. Thank you for sharing. Selena, who do you want to go to next?
Of course, I'm excited to have Katja because last broadcast we heard your point of view as the eldest. So now it's her turn. So let's see what's her point of view like. So let me start with asking her, what was it like growing up as the youngest in your family, and what is your sibling dynamic like?
Okay, so growing up as the youngest, I definitely feel like I'm very privileged and very taken care of. So my siblings always helped me, and all the challenges that I faced, they had already experienced it years before me. So I was able to observe them, just like Janice mentioned. And so I had someone to also guide me through certain things. For example, when it came to learning maths. So I remember my kuya, he would teach me math, and most specifically, I remember him teaching me subtractions because that's what I struggle with the most. And I remember learning from him, and thinking back, like looking back at it, I feel very, thankful because I was able to avoid making my dad teach me math because I remember I see Cheska laughing because. Uh, my dad would teach my siblings math and they would start crying around the dining table. And so observing that made me realize how I wanted to avoid that. So I was able to get my siblings to teach me, thankfully. And so that's That was a great experience. And as for sibling dynamic, I'd say that my ate is basically like my mom. I think because there's such a big age gap. And, back in the day, she would bring me to school, she'd bring me to kindergarten, she sat with me during worship service, she cooked me food. As for my kuya, he's very chill. Now he's very protective. Back in the day, he used to be very, we used to like argue a lot, but and also, it was easy to boss my kuya around. So whenever I'd get chores, I was able to find a way to make him do it. So I think that's like the dynamic we have here.
I think that's one thing youngest siblings have in common. Most, not everyone, but they have most of you guys. Like, you have your own way to make the older siblings do what you want. Like, this is what we're going to play. This is where we're gonna go. Or sometimes the chores, because growing up we have our we call it duty at home. So like, okay, it's your duty now to wash the dishes for dinner. And one way or another, I don't know how our youngest sibling always managed to make one of us do it instead of him. I don't know how he do it and how we give in. But yeah, it's common. So enough of me, but I want to know what core memory do you have with your siblings, especially your Ate Jessica, because she's here.
So a core memory I have with my siblings is when back in the day, me and my ate, we used to share a room. And I know she misses me so much, but back in the day, there would be sometimes where my kuya, he would go into our room late at night, and then he'd ask us if we'd want adobo. And I'd be like, sure. And then he'd spend like 1.5 hours making adobo in the kitchen, and then we'd eat it on my desk, all of us on my desk in the middle of the night, like 1 a.m. maybe, just eating adobo. And I think that's something that I always remember. And whenever he comes back home, because he lives in the Philippines now, so whenever he comes home to visit, that's kind of what we do. We sit on my desk and eat adobo. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. I don't know if it's you or Cheska who mentioned it was original cooking competition, and we asked who's the better cook and what he cooks, and they said that Ka Franco is really good in making adobo. So yeah, I heard it once again. So now, thank you so much. We will get back at you, but for now, we are going to read some of the comments in the live chat. So let me start. So we have several comments right now. So this one, we have a greeting from Akuya, I believe, Brother Markit Villaruel. Give a special shout out to my sister, Kirsten Villaruel, who is her birthday today. She's currently in the Netherlands. Thank you so much. So happy birthday, Kirsten, from your Kuya, I believe. And we also have from Olive, happy viewing, receiving more attention from both parents and siblings. Yes, I can totally agree with that, that the youngest always receive more attention from everyone in the family. So what else can you see? Any other comments, Francesca?
Yes, we have from Pauline Agapay. She says, now that we're all getting older, we got all closer, though we're busy with our lives, still reminiscing the fun old times, teasing each other, funny moments during childhood, missing my two kuyas. So those are some of the comments we have. Let's get back to our topic discussion. So let's go to Janice. Janice, for you, how do you think being the youngest has shaped your personality or even your life choices?
Being the youngest made me observant and thoughtful. I learned from their successes and mistakes, which helped me make more informed decisions. I also think it made me more adaptable and open-minded since I had to adjust to everyone else's pace.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. And it's also really, really interesting knowing that, having other people or having siblings experience things before you and having someone to look to when experiencing the same experiences as them, knowing then how to navigate, seeing how they navigated their experiences. So that's really interesting to see. So Janice, I also want to ask you is what advice or life lesson perhaps have your siblings taught you?
My siblings have taught me the importance of hard work and staying true to my values, all while keeping God at the center of everything. They always remind me to put God first in all that I do and to remain humble no matter what challenges come my way. Through their example, I've learned that when you let God guide your actions, everything else falls into place.
That's very nicely said. Um, yeah, as older siblings, the only thing we can ask for our younger siblings is to entrust everything to God and let God guide you through whatever experiences you may be going through or you may have. So that's really nice to hear. Selena, who do you want to ask next?
Yes, before I go to our next guest, I just want to share like it's the same for me now that my three younger brothers, they're all adults. It became lesser that they like need me for life advices, but usually it's more about serious matters. But at the end of the day, I always advise them to pray. Lagi yung sinasabi ko na manalangin ka. It's always like that. And I always remember that all of us had the same duty. We started from being choir members in the CWS, me and my second brother, and then the third and the fourth, and then we moved on as CWS officers, and then Binhi officers, and then when we go to Kadiwa, that's when we go our separate ways to choose our different departments, but we're all the same, and that's something that I can say I'm very proud of, that one way or another influence them when it comes to their faith. So, yes, so now I'd like to ask the same to Katya again. So, how do you think being the youngest shape your personality or your life choices, especially now that you're an adult?
For me, I think it has allowed me to be a lot more carefree and relaxed because I've always been taken care of and I've always been treated very chill. So I don't feel pressured or stressed a lot, which I know and I feel very like privileged and incredibly thankful. Um, so I feel like very less stressed about trying out new things because for me, I like to change my mind a lot and but I do that because I know that I have my siblings to help me out with certain things. So for example, I changed my mind about university, like my university program, stuff like that. And but because I know that my siblings and my parents also are very chill and like they'll help me out with whatever. And for example, with my ate, I would always ask her to help me with everything. With like when it came to anything with like any life choices, I asked her, "How do I get my bank card? What do I do when I start university? How do I apply for a gym membership?" I would ask Ate everything. And so when it came to my personality, so for those of you who have met me in person, you might think that I speak a bit fast. And I think it stems from the fact that growing up, I would have such a hard time getting my point across or getting like my thoughts heard in the room. So I'd have to speak fast so that I would get it over with so they would hear me before my siblings interrupt me, basically. I think that has made me talk a lot faster now. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so that's why. Thank you so much, Katya. So, who do we have next, Francesca?
Yes, so I want to go to Angela. Angela, for you, what advice or life lesson has your older sisters taught you?
Yes, like Janice mentioned, they would teach me to put God and my duties first, to be prayerful, to stay humble, to be kind and help whenever I can, and most importantly, to always ask before borrowing their clothes.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Katja, you hear that? Stop taking my things. Thank you. But yes, as that's really nice to hear that that's something your older siblings have taught you about putting God first, putting your duties first, and we definitely see that. And you already kind of mentioned it and brought it up. But how have your older siblings helped you in your membership or even in your duties inside the church?
They've inspired me so much to do my best. For those who don't know, Ate Abby is our choir leader, and Ate Kati RTK, as I call her, is a choir director in our district. So I've learned a lot from them, not just in choir about singing, but also about leading with love, encouraging others, and being consistent in my way of life. I don't say it often or ever, but I'm really thankful to have them.
And I think they're really thankful to have you as well. Thank you so much, Angela. I want to go to Jenny. For you, Jenny, what advice or life lesson have your older siblings taught you?
They have like taught me that everyone has a different tempo in life. So maybe something works for them, and then they tell me it doesn't have to work for me the same way it does for them, and vice versa. If something doesn't work for them, then it might work for me. So I should just find something that helps me in my future, in my life, and something that makes me happy, and not just like do what the others do or what they tell me to do.
Yes, and I think that's good advice really for everyone and for anyone. Kind of, you don't have to worry about where your siblings are at in life or where you are at in life. It's, you are going at your pace, at your time. And most importantly, it's all in God's timing. Whatever it is that's happening in our lives, whatever experiences we may be having, it's all part of God's plan for us. So thank you for sharing. And lastly, I want to ask you is how have your older siblings helped you in your membership or duties in the Church of Christ?
Well, of course, because they're older, they were the first ones to like attend the children's worship service, the first ones to become officers, and most especially to learn the importance of being God's servants and staying devoted to our calling. So naturally, they also motivated me to stay true to my duty, to my faith, and to carry it with me until the end.
Yes, thank you so much. And I think for all older siblings, that's what we want for our younger siblings to know and to understand. So thank you so much, Jenny, for sharing. Now, David, we'll go to you next. How has your kuya helped you in your membership inside the Church of Christ?
I can see how he tries to manage church duties and judo trainings, and sometimes he gets overwhelmed with doing so many things at the same time. But I see when he has always prioritized duties, no matter what or whatever situation he's in, and that has inspired me to also hold a duty in the future.
Yes, and we also see the efforts that your kuya puts in his duties, and it's nice for us to see and to hear that you see that as well, and that you take that as inspiration to also wanting to become an officer inside the church. So thank David for sharing. Selena, who do you want to go to next?
Yes, of course. So I'd like to ask Janice again. So, how have your older siblings helped you? You mentioned several instances earlier, but how have your older siblings helped you in your membership or duties inside the Church of Christ?
My oldest siblings were example to me in their dedication to the church, whether it was attending worship service and church activities or helping others. They inspired me to be more involved. They encouraged me to take on responsibilities and reminded me that serving God is a blessing and not a burden.
Yes, I think that's so one great advice from your older siblings, and you're very blessed to have those kind of siblings who gave you those kind of advice. So, thank you so much, Janice. So, to Katya, how have your older siblings helped you in your membership or duties in the Church of Christ? Especially, I can see that you're very active in your duties right now.
Yes, so having them as literal examples in how to treat my duties and also how to, the church administration has definitely helped me in my duties. I, you know, I they inspire me a lot, and seeing them treat their duties with so much respect and love and always as a first priority is something that has helped me in my duties definitely. And for those of you who don't know my ate, she's she's a district Kadiwa president. She's also very active in our congregation. She's the head secretary, the choir leader, and she has always been very hardworking ever since she was young. I've always seen her in her duties. I remember when I was younger, I would wait with her because she was a secretary, so we'd go in together. And as for my kuya, he is studying in the school for ministers, and just seeing them dedicate their lives to their duties, obviously, inspires me to do the same. And I think that is something that, is prevalent in our family. And I think seeing them most especially perform the duties has then inspired me to also perform my duties. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Katya. And that kind of answer make me wish that we guested some of my siblings, because I believe that those kind of things we as elder children don't hear often. We don't make this kind of conversation usually at home. And I'm not looking at you while you were answering. I'm looking at Francesca's reaction, and I cannot explain her reaction. It's a mix of emotions. And so thank you so much. But with that, I saw one comment. It's actually 3 a.m. in the Philippines, but I saw Ka Franco Nicolay Hiskanen. He said, hello po Ka Francesca and Ka Katya Hiskanen. Greetings from the Paro Caloocan North Pole. So your Kuya Franco is tuned in right now, even though it's very early. So yes, we have some other comments that I would like to read. We also from Raquel de la Cruz. My sibling help each other, support each other, and on fulfilling our duties to our Almighty God. And also we have Brenda Jen Jimenez. As the middle child among us siblings, is that I should be the one who's the responsible one, all of us, and that I show myself as a role figure. Shout out to my sister Jenny Flor Jimenez. So your older siblings are very supportive for you guessing right now. Who? Okay, do you have any more comments to read, Francesca? Help me out here.
Yes, we have from Olive again. Less pressure, less responsibility, especially on house chores. So, yes, when it comes to the house chores, I believe the younger siblings get away with it more. But in our case, now that Kacha is older, I get away with it more, actually. So just a bit of a twist. But we are not done yet. We have a quick game that we want to play with our guests, and we want everyone on in the live chat to join in. It's me or them. So we're going to give out different questions or different prompts, and we have our guests ready with their me or them notes. So if we can kindly ask our Kuya Tech to put us in grid view so that everyone can see what everyone answers. So we'll get started. So first prompt that we have is, who's the better negotiator with the parents? Katja says me, Angela says them, Janice says me. David says them. Jenny says them.
I'd like to see your
Interesting.
answer, Francesca, if it's the
Oh,
same with Katya.
yeah,
Okay.
no, yeah, she's better at negotiating. So that's fun. Okay. Next is who says sorry first when there's a fight? Tommy, sa gilid. Jenny, do you fight often, Jenny?
Not really.
That's so cute. What did you answer, Katja? You said them. Okay, in our case, when we fight, we're mad at for like an hour, and then afterwards we're done, and then we start talking again. So no one is the sorriest, if I can say. Let's go on. Who takes the longest to get ready? Janice says them, Katja says them, Jenny says them, David says them, Angela says me. Angela. Okay, who has the messier room? Them, 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 them. Oh, yeah. I no comment there because I have the messier room. Who cooks the most? Janice says me, Katja says me, Jenny says me, Angela says them, David says them. Janice, what do you cook when you cook?
Asian food like Korean, Japanese.
Very interesting, very interesting. Katja cooks a lot of Italian food. She makes a lot of lasagna at home. Okay, who was more likely to cry to get their way? Who used tears to get their way? Very interesting. Katja says me. Fun fact, when Katja was really, really young, she would cry, but no tears would actually come out of her eyes. So it was hard to tell if she was genuinely sad or she was just tricking me. Next is who was more likely to get out of chores? Them, me, them. Okay. Next, two more. Who collected the strangest things? Who had the strangest collection of things? Angela, them. What? Why do you say that? What did they collect?
Abby would collect those bottle caps from cans.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Last one. Who had the most imaginative stories as a child? So Janice says them, Katja says me, Annie says me, Angela says me, David says them. So we can ask you all for the different stories that came up, but we would need a whole nother hour for our broadcast, and I don't think we have that much time. So thank you so much to our guests for playing this quick game, and we hope everyone in the live chat was able to join in. Continue sending in your comments, and we'll try to read them before the end of our broadcast. But now let's go to our language segment. So let's have our Let's Learn Swedish, where we share with you words in Swedish related to our topic. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and let's learn Swedish.
Hi everyone! Are you ready to learn some Swedish words related to our topic? Let's get started! Our first word is siblings. In Swedish, that is syskon. Syskon. Youngest is yngst. Yngst. Middle child is mellanbarn. Mellanbarn. Eldest is äldst. Äldst. Personality is personlighet. Personlighet. Laughter is skratt. Skratt. Fun is roligt. Roligt. Favorite is favorit. Favorit. Memory is minnen. Minnen. And childhood is barndom. Barndom. Those were just some Swedish words for you. Hope you enjoyed and see you next time. Or vi ses nästa gång.
Katya, for being with us and for doing that, our episode of Let's Learn Swedish all the time. So now let's move on to our CFO in action for activities conducted in the District of Northern Europe. So we held the CWS, or Children Worship Service Tagi San Antalino, and at Oslo, Norway. So with hearts filled with faith and minds eager to grow, CWS members from Denmark, Norway, and Sweden came together in Oslo, Norway for a memorable Tagi San Antalino activity. The event was more than just a test of knowledge. It was a celebration of unity, faith, and God-given wisdom. As young members of the church, the participants were not only inspired to keep learning, but also reminded of the strength they have when they stand together in their service to the Lord. So yes, that's for our CFO in action in our district. So now all good things must come to an end. We're running out of time. So now we're going to give our guests a quick round of shout outs. So let's start with Angela.
Yes, shout out to my friends and family who are tuned in right now, especially to my aunts and also the bunsos or youngest ones in our family, like our father, my papa, Hipolito Gabriel, and his twin sister, Auntie Baby, Lalin and Sofia. And also to the birthday kids in our family, Brian and my manong James. Advance happy birthday to my one of my closest friends, and my INCRadio co-host in Austria, Tamara. And also shout out to the brethren in Austria and our respective resident ministers and ministerial workers, Brother Danilo Kaalim and his wife, Sister Laura Kaalim, Brother Pietro Jodasanes, and Brother Marl Keith Villaruel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angela. How about you, David?
I'd like to shout out my family, my mom and papa, brother Carl, and all of the members of Sweden.
Thank you so much, David. Go ahead with your greetings and shout out, Janice.
Hello to my kuyas and ates and my family in the Philippines and all the church members in Helsinki, Finland. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janice. Go ahead, Jenny.
I'd also like to shout out my family, the Hemedes family, the Casano family. I'd also like to shout out, of course, my ate and kuya, ate Brenda, kuya Rembrandt. Also my cousins who are also like the kuyas, kuya Geronio and kuya Aaron. To the local of Vienna Center, all the brethren, and also to all the viewers we have tonight. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Jenny. And by the way, I really like your voice. You have a great voice. So go ahead, Katya.
I also want to shout out my destinado, Fred Rigor, and to all the brethren in Lund, Sweden, as well as my entire family, my ate, my also my kuya who stayed up late to watch me, and then to Monica Seri, and of course to Brother Andre Palarasho. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. So what do we have next, Francesca?
Yes, so we also want to take the opportunity to greet birthday celebrants in our district. So we want to start off with Budapest. There's RJ Peralta, Gerson Gallardo, Romel Soriano, Joel Roque, Litargo William, Carlo Villarante, Dante Bariring. So happy birthday to you there in Budapest. And in Lund and Melbystrand, for where we're from. Janet Valje, Alex Valje, Demirkis Lindorf, and Maricel Bengtsson have their birthdays this month. So actually, some of David's, actually David's mom and his kuya had their birthday just recently. And from Borås, there's Sara Hellström. And from Vienna West, there's Brian Maxwell, Jamie Maxwell, Clarence Yason, Rolly Ballesteros, Edwin Sican, Cyron Lopez, and Harley Siason. So once again, happy birthday to all the July birthday celebrants in Northern Europe. And we would also like to give a special greeting to our beloved District Supervising Minister, Brother Visar Balsita, and his wife, Sister Lisa Balsita, and we would like to greet them a happy wedding anniversary. So for everyone in Northern Europe, happy wedding anniversary. And yes, we are really nearing the end of our broadcast. Once again, we want to thank all of the viewers and all of the listeners who tuned in, who listened, who participated in the live chat. You do not go unnoticed, and we thank you so much for your continued support every week on INCRadio Northern Europe Satellite Studio. We would also like to thank the tech in the Philippines for helping us out this evening with all of the technical arrangements for our broadcast tonight. And who else would we like to thank, Selena?
Yes, of course, we would like to thank our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, for having INC radio programs such as this, and Brother Angelo Aranyo Manalo, our Deputy District Minister.
Yes, and we would like to thank Brother Montreville Boy, INC Media Production Section Chief, and Brother Wally Taray, INC Radio Subsection Chief. And once again, we would like to greet our District Supervising Minister, Brother Visar Balsita, and we would also like to greet our District CFO Overseer, Brother Oliver Nagit. And for my personal greeting, Selena, I'll start it off. I want to greet my family, my parents, for tuning in to our broadcast tonight. I would also like to thank my sister for being one of our guests, and I would also like to thank my brother for even at almost 4 a.m. He's tuning into INC Radio. And thank you once again to all of the viewers, to all of the listeners who tuned in to our broadcast this evening. Now, Selena, who would you like to greet?
Yes, of course, I would like to greet my brothers and my mom who's always tuned in as well. And of course, to our Desinado brother, Fred Vigor, to all the district blood officers, and of course, to my husband, and to my son, Alfonso. And like what I mentioned, to all my brothers, especially to our youngest brothers, whom we refer as Golden Bunso. So I know you're awake now. And of course, shout out to you. And of course, to all our viewers and listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget to like our social media pages here on YouTube, as well as on INC Radio Facebook page on Facebook. Where you can watch parts of our broadcast, and you can also watch again the replay of this broadcast later on. And don't forget to like and share this, of course. So yes, Francesca.
Yes, and that's pretty much it. So once again, thank you for watching INC Radio Northern Europe Satellite Studio, and see you again next week.